Welcome into another edition of The Butcher versus the Spin Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. I'm Neil McCready, joined by Greg Jones of LB's Meat Market, Campbell McCready of Zen Studios. It's another week on the big show. We're going to get to a different kind of slate of picks because the SEC slate, other than the game in Oxford, kind of sucks. So we'll have the SEC games, but we'll talk about some other games too because frankly, we've got to give Campbell an opportunity here to catch up, to make a dent in the schedule. Greg Jones continues his reign of terror. It's like he's just rolling through picks with his big butcher knife, just cleaving. Greg went 6-3 for the week. He's now 44-20 for the season. Campbell, after a great week, kind of reverts back to form this year, back to 3-6 against the spread. She's 32-32 for the season, just sitting at 500. So a lot of ground to make up, and so I gave her a list of games to give her an opportunity to make up said ground. So we'll get to the picks and stuff in a little bit. First, let's catch up with you guys. How are you?
Awesome.
Doing good.
So, Greg, it is it's as we tape this, it's Wednesday. It's 1:33 in the afternoon. By this time tomorrow, I expect Oxford's going to be kind of a zoo. By this time, 48 hours from now, I have zero doubt Oxford is going to be nuts. It's going to be a lot going on in Oxford. People are like, where should I go? And I'm like, listen, man, if you don't have some sort of a dinner reservation by this point, it ain't happening. I mean, I got news for you. Unless you want to eat at 3:30 or at 11:15. I mean, if you want to do that, it's cool. But the town's going to be wild. So I know that means you're going to be absolutely slammed at LB's. This is going to be the biggest football weekend Ole Miss has had in a long time. How are you getting ready for it?
I just got done cutting everything, and I'm getting, kind of semi-stocked up for the actually new order. I kind of over-ordered last weekend. But, got everything cleaned out. We just got done finishing all the sausage. We got a fresh batch of spicy Hawaiian on the smoker right now. We actually kind of changed up the spicy Hawaiian. Instead of doing crushed pineapple, we did pineapple chunks. So should be some chunks of pineapple, make that pineapple taste on that smoked sausage even better. So, yeah, just getting ready. I mean, we've got plenty of fresh seafood coming tomorrow. Salmon, redfish. We're going to have some fresh jumbo lump crab meat. And, pretty much everything's going to be – might work a sale out with the lane train. We might do 2 for $20 this weekend just because, why not to come and get 2 lane trains for $20?
Remind me when we finish, after we hit stop record, I need to give you my order for the weekend because I know you're going to be slammed. Yeah, as we tell you all the time, it's 2008, University Avenue in Oxford, right across from Kroger, but there's no reason to go into Kroger, none at all. Just use it as a landmark. LB's, if you're not familiar, LB's right across the way. If you are familiar, you already know. When you go into LB's, the freshest cuts, whether it's beef, pork, chicken, fish, the chicken wings are absolutely phenomenal. The house-made sausages, I've got some personal favorites, but I suggest that you try a variety on yours. I like the spicy lamb is quickly moving up my list of favorites. I like the spicy ribeye. I like the jalapeno chicken. I like the Swayze. There's a lot there. Greg's always trying new stuff. And don't forget, I know right now we're all focused on football, but it'll be the holiday season before you know it, Thanksgiving and then Christmas and all of that. So start thinking about getting your order together for those big holidays as well. Make LB's a part of it. You will not regret it. The freshest cuts that you'll ever find, no matter how you cook it. People always say, how do you do this? How do you do that? The key thing is the ingredient, and you get great ingredients at LB's Meat Markets. We'll give you, at the end of our picks, I'll make sure Greg lets you know how to contact him and that kind of thing. Campbell, what's going on at Zen?
Not much. I teach twice today at 4:30 and 5:45, but other than that, just the usual spin classes.
Any big themes this week, like Justin Bieber, or you got like?
No, I'm gonna do a Halloween themed ride next week at some point. Just in the spirit of Halloween.
Sure, makes sense.
Like Thriller, like something like like Michael Jackson Thriller.
I actually did it last year, and I found a Thriller remix that I used. It was fun. So
It's always those remixes that are better.
Did you know that when Michael Jackson, when he finished that album, he was distraught. He thought it would be so. He thought the album was so bad, particularly the Thriller song, that it was going to ruin his career. And I guess it was Quincy Jackson. Is that who it was? Quincy James, the famous producer whose name escapes, Quincy something, was like, no, this is going to be big.
Dang.
Quincy was right for sure.
Yeah, it was. I think I was in the 8th grade. That was back when cassette tapes. You remember those, Greg? Campbell doesn't.
Oh yeah, for sure.
People would wait in line hours outside of a record store to get the Thriller album, the cassette tape, and you'd play that thing until the tape was just worn.
Oh yeah,
until it was gone.
I remember. I think I tried to record it from the radio one time or something like that, so I didn't have to stand in line.
Yeah, I can
wasn't
remember.
as loud and good, but that was pretty tough,
I can remember I would try to record from the Rick D's Weekly Top 40 or Casey Kasem's Top 40, and I would get so mad when they would talk over all of the music because that would ruin it. Like if you were trying to have it for your.
Does Casey Kasem still have his top? Surely not, right?
He's not around anymore, right? But Rick D's, I think, still is. You remember Rick D's?
I think it's Ryan Seacrest top 10 now.
Yeah. Seacrest does a lot of that. All right, let's get to it. Got picks. Greg won last week, like I mentioned. So we've got a lot of picks. I had to go offshore to find a line on a game. Everything else lines. We got some Big Ten. We got some Big 12. We've got some Pac-12. We've got SEC. So we'll hop right into it. We'll start with Campbell's Razorbacks. They're losers of 3 in a row. The Hogs, after a 4-0 start, now 4-3. They go to Little Rock this weekend at War Memorial Stadium. They play Arkansas Pine Bluff. Arkansas, the Razorbacks are a 51.5-point favorite. Greg, this game begins at 11 a.m. You can see it on the SEC network if you're so inclined. 51.5 points.
I'll take Arkansas here. Obviously they could score some points. I don't know. I haven't did too much research on Arkansas Pine Bluff, but it seems like they like to give up a lot of points. So it sounds like maybe, I don't know, I could get lucky and do 65-10. Get away with that. Did you say 52?
51.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 65-10. I'm gonna see if I can't weasel my way to that one.
Campbell?
Well, this week I did come prepared, Greg, so maybe you should be a little scared, but I know last week Auburn tackles, the refs were just looking the other way. So I think it is time for the league office to move out of Birmingham.
Oh.
Maybe move somewhere else. Wow. It's a little unfair. So I'll be taking the Hogs and laying the points.
Wow, that Birmingham reference, like going after the big boys, I like it.
You spend any amount of time, whether it's covering or cheering for one of the kind of have-nots of the SEC, and inevitably you come to that conclusion that the league office in Birmingham is not a good idea. Like, move it to, I don't know, Dallas. The league's going west. Send the office west.
Right, Vicksburg, Mississippi might be a good option.
Move it to Vicksburg, put it right there on the river.
Yeah.
All right, so you're both taking the Razorbacks. You're both laying 51.5 points. Does either one of you know what the Arkansas Pine Bluff mascot is?
No.
Wildcat, maybe?
No, you're close, but no.
Bobcat or something like that? No.
It's in the cat family, but no, it's not a bobcat or a wildcat. It's the golden lion.
Oh,
the golden lion.
I'm sure everybody that has went to MRA is so excited that you stumped me on a mascot. I used to get phone calls like, "Hey, what mascot is this?" And for some strange reason, I always knew the mascot.
Well, then we stumped Greg. All right, we go to the Big Ten now. It's a 2:00 game on the Big Ten Network. If you're heading to Oxford, you won't see this one, but might be on the screen at some point. Might hear about it later. Wisconsin a 3-point favorite at 25th ranked Purdue. Again, 2 p.m. Big Ten Network. The Badgers giving 3. Campbell, you're up.
Well, I know Purdue broke your heart last week by beating Iowa. Is that who you're a fan of?
Yes, a lifelong Iowa fan. I love everything about Iowa, the people, the town, the city, the state, everything.
Well, after talking to you, I know that Purdue will stack the box against Wisconsin, and Purdue is 1-5 against the spread. So, I still think I'm going to go with Purdue this week.
Okay, so that's.
Oh, she really.
I told you I came prepared, Greg.
There's a lot there, Greg.
I'm kind of speechless. I mean, that's exactly. I just like Purdue here also. So I mean, I'm just gonna. I like how they tweeted. We beat the number 2 out of Iowa, which I thought that was a pretty cool tweet.
It was a good tweet. I'll give them that. Can't stand them, but it was a good tweet. All right, we go to the Big 12 now. 8th ranked Oklahoma State. It's a slate of 2:30 games coming up, including the one in Oxford. We'll get to it in a minute. 8th ranked Oklahoma State is a 7-point underdog at Iowa State there in Ames. This game kicks off at 2:30. You can watch it on Fox if you're so inclined. I doubt many of you will be. But Oklahoma State, Iowa State there in Ames, Greg. The Cowboys getting 7 on the road.
I think I had Oklahoma State last week. They end up winning the game, right? Didn't Coach Gundy do the electric slide or something like that? Didn't that go viral?
That's correct. They're undefeated. They have not lost yet.
I did follow somehow, some way, a picture of Gundy's. I said Van Gundy. Gundy's mullet. He goes, for every like or retweet, I'll make his mullet longer. And like the tweet ended up like being, it was a pretty cool tweet. It's like one of those tweets I'll have to refer it to. It's pretty cool. But I like Oklahoma State. I think that Gundy's built a good program there. I know Iowa State is pretty solid at home, but I just like the momentum that Oklahoma State's going with right now.
All right, Campbell, he's taking the Cowboys on the road in Ames. What say you?
Well, I know Oklahoma State is winning, but Iowa State is on a 2-game winning streak after beating Kansas State. So I think I'm going to go with Iowa State and lay the points for this one.
Okay, so you're gonna take Iowa State, lay the points. So you're betting on the Cyclones to win. Gotcha.
Yes.
All right. Campbell talking about point spreads and stuff. It's kind of impressive. Oregon to the Pac-12 now. We go out west. Another 2:30 game. 10th ranked Oregon at the Rose Bowl against UCLA there in Pasadena. The Ducks are a 3-point favorite at UCLA. Campbell, what do you think?
Well, Oregon is 1-5 against the spread this season, and UCLA is 5-2. I also did visit UCLA, I guess you could say, a couple years ago. I stepped on their campus, so you know how I got to take that angle as well. So I'll go with UCLA.
All right, Greg. Campbell, going with trends right there. UCLA getting 3 points at the Rose Bowl. This game I didn't tell you about, boy. 2:30. You can see it on ABC. What do you think?
Wow, like I said, her research is just top notch this week. It's like it's almost like she skipped school to make sure she was. I like UCLA too, but I'm going to go with Oregon here. I'm just going to take I guess they're favored for a reason, so I'm going to go with it. So I'm going to take Oregon.
All right, the big game in Oxford, LSU comes to town. The Tigers having dismissed Ed Orgeron effective at the end of the season. That was announced on Sunday, a day after LSU defeated Florida. They come to Oxford. 12th ranked Ole Miss waits on them. The Rebels now 5-1 overall, 2-1 in the SEC after escaping Knoxville with a win and their heads, everything being thrown at them in the last minute of the game. They got out of there alive. Literally.
And they got a dozen golf balls, to go with it, right? Yeah.
So, they get to go golfing and have some free balls. This game's at 2:30, of course. You can see it on CBS if you're not going. We'll have the MPW digital postgame show immediately after the game. Let's see, Greg, you're up. Ole Miss giving 10.5 to the Tigers.
Man, it's hard not to go against Ole Miss here, but I know Matt Corral might be hurt, but I just hate to bet against Ole Miss just because I just I like betting with my heart sometimes, and even though my heart's wrong probably 90% of the time, but with that being said, I'm going to go with Ole Miss. We'll hopefully win by 2 touchdowns, or just hopefully win by 2 or 3 and just blow them out. That'd be great.
All right, Campbell, Greg is going with the Rebels, and he's going to lay the 10.5 points. Gamble that Ole Miss is healthy enough to do that. What do you think?
I'm going to agree. I'm going to go with Ole Miss. I don't think LSU's defense can take Ole Miss this week, and also feel kind of bad what was the whole – didn't Lane Kiffin get hit by he got hit by a golf ball?
He got hit by a golf ball. Luckily for him, it kind of was a glancing shot. In all seriousness, and no one really – everybody made jokes about it, and Lane's really funny on Twitter and all that stuff.
Yeah, but who takes golf balls to football games?
But if that ball hits him clean, against the head or something, I mean that would hurt.
Yeah, I was going to say that could really injure someone.
Yeah,
so
you could break a nose or knock a tooth out or a lot of things.
Yeah, I think I saw in the Ryder Cup one time where DeChambeau hit one of his drives on like the first hole, ended up hitting a lady in the leg, and I was like, I bet that hurt really bad
for a long time.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Campbell. I didn't let you finish your thought.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. I was saying, because I feel bad for them just a little after last week's golf ball incident. I'll take Ole Miss for that reason as well.
All right, you're both taking the Rebels. That would make a lot of people here in Oxford awfully happy if Ole Miss wins that game by 11 or more. There will be a lot of people who frankly would exhale after the last 2 weeks, because Ole Miss has taken Arkansas and Tennessee absolutely to as far as you can take them in a football game. It has been a heartburn city around here. All right, Clemson, once a national power. Clemson now goes to 23rd ranked Pittsburgh. Clemson is a 3.5 point underdog. This game at 2:30 on ESPN. Campbell, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to combine 2 different angles, my research and, one of my traditional, ways I usually pick. But I know Pittsburgh is 5-1 against the spread this season, and Clemson is 0-6. And also, Dance Moms was filmed in Pittsburgh. So, I got to pick Pittsburgh for this one for those 2 reasons.
All right, Greg, that's a lot to even think about competing against. She's got Dance Moms and legitimate betting trends favoring the Panthers at home. Clemson getting 3.5 points. What do you think?
I think I'm going to go with the Dance Mom angle, even though the 5-1 against the spread sounds a little bit better. But no, I'm going to go with the Dance Moms angle. I like this angle a lot, and I think Pittsburgh's going to win.
I kind of do too. Actually, I'll go ahead and tell you that on Neil's picks, this is my lock of the week. I love Pittsburgh here. All right, back into the SEC, if you want to call it this, if anybody wants to claim it. Mississippi State heads to Vanderbilt. This is a 3:00 game on the SEC network. If you're watching this game, get help. Do you have your bottle, Greg? This is the half a bottle of Grey Goose game of the week, in my opinion, if that's okay with you. Half gallon Grey Goose game of the week right here. Mississippi State, Greg, is a 23-point favorite at Vanderbilt.
Well, I think Vanderbilt showed some heart last week. Maybe South Carolina's just as bad, and we just missed out on the 2 worst teams playing in the SEC last week. I think I might have seen one play, and I think that was it. With that being said, I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. I like how they fought, and maybe they're not as bad as we think they are.
Maybe. Campbell, what do you think?
Well, Vanderbilt almost won last week against South Carolina, so South Carolina must really be awful. I'm not really sure who makes the rules and why we can't play either of their teams. But I'm going to go with Mississippi State because I don't think I've ever picked Vanderbilt.
It's a good point. Who does make the damn rules, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
surely those people in Birmingham can figure it out, right?
Yeah, at some point. Campbell's probably not the only person in Fayetteville wondering how come we don't get to play South Carolina and Vanderbilt. I mean, that's more than fair. All right, staying in the SEC, Tennessee coming off its loss to Ole Miss. They head to Alabama. The 4th-ranked Crimson Tide are a 27.5 point favorite. This will be the game on after you're leaving the Grove. It's at 6 p.m. on ESPN. Campbell, I think you're up. Tennessee getting 27.5 points.
I'm going to go with Alabama. I don't think I really need an explanation.
Just laying the points. All right, Greg, What do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree with her. I mean, she with her that research that she's done this week, it's just hard whenever she comes up to a very simple game. You just bet on the better team, and Alabama's definitely the better team. And we'll say, I don't know, man, it can be like 54-10, maybe something like that. It could be something worse than 27.
Tennessee got pretty beat up in that game too on Saturday, and they lost. And it's hard to overcome one of those. You don't shake those off as quickly. I thought I saw some of that with Arkansas last week against Auburn. A little bit of just kind of not quite over it. What happened, and then the bell rings and you got to answer it, and sometimes it's hard to do. All right, last game, still in the SEC, South Carolina. We mentioned them. They are a 21-point underdog at 17th-ranked Texas A&M. This game is at 6:30. You can see it on the SEC Network. Greg, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think I took Texas A&M last week, and they end up covering against Missouri. So I guess Missouri is that kind of is bad. They get another bad team after a big win against Alabama. So why not, ride the hot hand while they got it, and especially at home. We'll see if they can, be up for a team like South Carolina, like they were up for Alabama. So surely they should handle business here and win by at least 3 or 4 touchdowns. So we'll go with Texas A&M.
Campbell, he's going to take the Aggies and lay the 21. What do you think?
I'm going to agree again. I'm not sure why we can't play South Carolina. I'm also a little upset because I'm having to ditch my journalism conference in Columbia angle.
Yeah.
But Texas A&M did beat Alabama, so I'm going to go with Texas A&M as well.
Yeah, I just can tell you, all the journalism conferences in the world are not going to bail out South Carolina this year. They got issues. I mean, after watching them play Vanderbilt, they got issues. They and Missouri and Vanderbilt all have issues. Like, those are the problem children that they're in the back of the class, always getting sent to the principal's office. They got issues. Those three teams.
Are we replacing them with Texas, Oklahoma, and Clemson? Is that if we?
Oh boy, can you imagine this league if you did that? Good night. You're just going to add Texas and Oklahoma soon, and this league's going to get even tougher. Although those teams are going to have to grow up a little bit to compete in this league.
Or pick and choose their spots,
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we have differences this week on Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Oregon, UCLA, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt. So, Campbell, you got a chance to gain 3 games or fall even further behind, or it's kind of tread water. We'll be back next week with another edition of picks. We got next week. Ole Miss goes to Auburn. Arkansas is off next week. I'm trying to see who else plays. There's some other the cocktail party. Florida and Georgia's next week. So we'll get to those games. Greg, before we go though, tell the people how they can get in touch with you if they want to call in and make an order like I want to do in just a minute.
Yeah, just call the store. I mean, always call the store, 662-259-2999. Just let me know what all you want. If you want 10 lane trains, 10 jalapeno poppers, and 10 mushrooms, I mean, it helps out because we can get that order taken care of, and you can pick it up whenever you want. So you can say Friday at 3:00. You can say Friday at 5:00. You can say Saturday. With the game being at 2:30, I think we're going to be open early in the morning and maybe till 2:00. It's just hard to be open, especially when everybody's in the Grove and at the football game. So we might be closed. We might not open back up, just because we're all Ole Miss fans around here and we want to go and enjoy living and being in Oxford, and when LSU comes to town, because there's a lot of friends that always come to big weekends like this. So we're going to be probably closed after 2:00 on Saturday, then open up on 1 to 6 on Sunday, and we should be really stocked up this weekend. And like I said, plenty of fresh sausage. About to make some boudin and the fresh seafood, so should be ready to go. But always call the store.
Greg, thanks as always. Campbell, YouTube. I know you're driving home this weekend for fall break. Please be careful, and look forward to seeing you. And that does it for this episode of The Butcher versus the Spin Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. Again, 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. You will not regret it. It will become a regular part of your routine, as it has for me and my family and so many other people around Oxford. Just absolutely fantastic. You'll love it. We'll be back next week with another episode of Picks. Until then, take care.